Hi everyone. In this video we'll try to learn that how we can use additional residual filter condition to the join, right? Additional filter condition to the join means that first of all you will join the query, and then after that if you want to filter out your data, then you can apply the additional filter condition to the join, right? So first I'll just try to write the any specific inner query or inner join query. So I want to retrieve data from the employee and department table, the same table that we were using for the previous example. So I can say e.ename, comma e.salary I want to retrieve, and I want to retrieve department number. So I'll say e.dept number, and I also want to retrieve the manager ID. So I'll say e.manager ID, mgr. Right, this is what the column that I want to retrieve from the employee table, comma. Now from the other table, that is a department table, I want to retrieve the other column. So I'll say d.dname, and I will say d.location information. I just wanted to know which employee belongs to which location, from which table, from emp table, and I'm using inner join. So I'll say inner join, and I have to give alias to this table. So I can say e inner join dept d, right? On which column you want to join. So I want to join these two tables, that is okay, but on which column you want to join these two tables. So there should always be a common column between both the table. It is not mandatory that the column name should be same, but the values of the column should be same, right? So I can say on e.dept number is equals to d.dept number, right? Now select this query and run this, and you are getting this data, right? So ename, salary, and then department number, manager ID, department name, and location. Now what I want is I want to further filter the data. So what I can do is I can apply a where clause to the extension of the query. So I can say where e dot, I only want to see data for department number 10 and 20, right? So I can apply one filter over here where e.dept number, and I will use in operator. It is always a good idea to use in operator, one of my favorite operator. And whenever you are using in operator, you have to use brackets, and in the bracket you have to give your values. So you have to say 10, 20, right? This is my first filter after join. So if I select the query and if I run this, so first of all, it will join the data and then it will filter your data. That's how it works. It is not mandatory that I can only apply one filter. Of course, I can apply multiple filters to that query, right? So, and after the where clause, if I want to apply one more filter, I have to use either or and operator. I hope you are clear with or operator, when to use or operator and when to use and operator. Now I'll use and operator over here, right? And I will further filter the data, right? I'll further filter the data. I will filter the data on the basis of location. I only want to see data for Dallas location, right? So I can say d dot location is equals to, either you can use in operator or you can use equals to, that is not a problem. So you can give Dallas. Whenever you are applying a filter on the basis of a string, right, you can use this. Put a semicolon and simply select the query and run this. So this is how your data is being filtered on the basis of department and then on the basis of your location, right? Now after that, I want to apply one more filter. The filter is that I wanted to see data for those people whose salary is greater than 2,500, right? Whose salary is greater than 2,500. So I can of course further filter my data. I can apply one more and operator, and I will say e dot salary should be greater than 2,500. This is one more filter that I've applied. Select the query and run this. Now I have this data, right? So can I apply one more filter? Of course I can apply one more filter. For example, I wanted to see data for those people whose name starts with J, right? Whose name starts with J. For this specific condition, I have to use like operator, right? like operator, where you can say that the name starts with this or ends with this alphabet and all. So I can say and e dot ename like, and I'm saying that the name should starts with J. So I have to use the inverted quote first of all, and I have to use a percentage symbol, and the name should starts with J. So name will starts with J, and I'm using a percentage symbol. That means after J it can be anything. It can be Jones or Johnny or anything, right? Now I'm having only this last single record. Now can I further filter the data? No. This is the least that we can do. So the whole idea of telling you about this query is that first of all, you select your column. This is how the structure of a query. This is how you need to frame your question, or this is how you need to frame your query. First of all, retrieve the data or retrieve the columns that you wanted to retrieve in your exam, in your question. And after that, from which table you want to join. So these are the table I want to join. On which column you want to join? On this column I want to join. And after that, you have all the liberties to filter your data. Remember that you can only use where clause once, only once. After that, if you want to further filter the data, either you have to use AND operator or OR operator. You cannot use any other operators, right? Now, if I remove this filter, for example, or rather I will remove, if I remove this filter, right, and then my query will become like this. Select this query and run this. So, or I should remove this filter as well. So that really makes sense. Let me just run this query. So I have this data. Now we have multiple clauses in SQL, right? We have select, from, where. Then I have one more clause called order by clause. So I can apply order by clause at the end, right? Why we use order by clause? Because we need to sort the data either in ascending order or either in descending order. So I can say order by ename. So I can say order by ename. Select the query. So it will sort the data on the basis of your ename. So you can say that Fort is coming at the first and Scott is coming at the end. Now if I want to sort my data in the descending order, I can say order by ename DESC. DESC means I want to sort my data in descending order. Select this query and run this query. So you can see that Scott is at the top and Fort is at the bottom. This is how you have to frame your query. Select the column, join the table, on which condition, and apply your filter. And after that, if you want to sort your data, you can sort your data. So this is a nice sequencing that you can understand to resolve any of the question. Thank you so much for watching. Happy learning.